Boker Tov, everyone. Please continue to enjoy breakfast. I want to share with you a commentary to a verse which appears near the end of Moshe's Shirah, Moshe's Bracha to the people of Israel. It says, Ashrecha Yisrael, O happy Israel, Micha Mocha, who is like you? Am Nosha Ba'adonai, people delivered by God, Magen Ezrecha, your protecting shield, Va'asher Cherev Ga'avatecha, your triumphant sword, Vikashu Oivecha Lach, your enemies shall come cringing before you, Ve'ata al bamotemo tidroch, and you shall tread on their backs. A very triumphant expression on the part of Moshe of Israel's future, and the basis for an intriguing comment by Rabbi Yitzchak Nissenbaum. Rabbi Yitzchak Nissenbaum lived from 1870 to 1950, and he was, at one point early in his career, the secretary and right-hand man of Harav Mohilever, who, if you're a real student of Zionism, you would recognize that Rav Mohilever was one of the few religious Zionists of his era, who articulated a passion for the land of Israel and a commitment to build it up at a time when that was an occupation primarily of the secular Jewish world. So Rabbi Yitzchak Nissenbaum looks at the verse and he says, Va'asher cherev ga'avatcha. He looks at the phrase, your triumphant sword, and he says the following. Ha'cherev ba'anu lochamim neged sonenu hi haga'ava. That the sword that we use to combat against our enemies around us is in fact ga'ava. Ga'ava, it means pride. In most commentaries, pride was something to be eschewed, something to be avoided. It was a fear of arrogance. But Rabbi Nissenbaum is turning it here into a positive, that the weapon that we need to use in our struggles in the real world, our struggles in the world, in the modern era, is in fact pride. But what is his definition? Ga'avatenu ze al avarenu hamifuar. Our pride should be rooted in our illustrious past, in the accomplishments of previous generations of Jewish people, going all the way back to Moshe. Ba'al ye'odenu ha'ne'ela ba'al midot ha'trumot shebahen imanu mitztainin. That we should be prideful of all of the wonderful qualities that are inherent and attributed to the Jewish people. Qualities of compassion, qualities of learning, qualities that we associate with the Jewish people in terms of commitment and independence, and qualities that we would embrace as being that which has enabled the Jewish people to survive through the ages. It says, "Bekli hazayin halalu," with these as our weapons, bega'ava ha'neuta shelanu, with a pride in the accomplishments of our people that is well deserved. It is those that we can use to ward off those who prey upon us, the wolves at the door, to use a slightly more literal translation of his terms. He wants us, and especially, I think, a younger generation, to feel a sense of pride in their Jewish roots, in their Jewish history, in their Jewish culture, in their Jewish tradition, because he sees that as the only bulwark against the buffets of the modern era. And that if, in fact, we are able to garner that sense of pride, if we are able to foster that sense of pride and pridefulness in our young people, then al bamotemu tidroch. Then the end of the verse will in fact become true, that we will be able to overcome and defeat those who stand as a challenge to the Jewish people and to the Jewish community. And while he wrote these words close to a century ago, because he wrote these before the war, it's remarkable the degree to which it is a very powerful challenge for us in the early part of the 21st century, wherein there are far too many of our young people, and not even young people, who don't appreciate the grandeur of our tradition and our heritage and the accomplishments and the qualities that have ennobled the Jewish people and made us a unique people. And as a result, those are often the ones who fall prey to the temptations of assimilation and are unprepared to rebut the arguments that are put forth by groups that seek to assimilate us or to convert us. Someone was mentioning just a moment ago at breakfast that there's a letter campaign going on in Schenectady addressed to young people, accusing the Jewish people of various nefarities. And if you don't know the truth, if you don't understand the reality, then it's hard to rebut or respond appropriately.
Blood libel?
Blood libel.
Blood libel?
Yeah, the old Pesach blood libel amongst them.
It's been a while since that's reared its ugly.
It rears its head, and it's unfortunate because we don't have, or not enough people have, the tools to be able to respond. And even in the less nefarious world, just the ability to understand and contextualize Judaism within modernity and see where Judaism can fit in amongst the other isms and amongst the other ologies that are taught and presented to our young people as they go off to do what we want them to do at college and university, and they don't take with them enough of a reservoir of Jewish history, learning, and pride to be able to respond and understand why Judaism is so essential.